short, subtract. And then the second group. One circle is finished. Draw with the first pen. Lap 22 is 8 X's and V's, 1 short and 1 minus. One short, one reduced, alternating. Hook until the hook is full. The next circle is 8 reduction pins. Start with the needle that was drawn. And a reducer. Be careful not to repeat the stitch when you hook it. The next stitch begins, and then 2 reduction stitches. At the 4th hook, put the padded cotton in. Filling cotton. Place the filling surface. Continue crocheting the rest of the way. Put this quill back on the crochet hook. Just hook for reduction stitches, and then we hook the other 4. Make sure that if there is cotton on the edge of the hook, press it so that it does not catch the cotton. The 8th and then the circle is done. There's only one bite left. Finally, there are 4 reduction pins. Now start the last loop. Start at the edge of the needle, and then move on to the next stitch. This is the first reducer. After a reduction stitch is finished, next the second. Once you're done with this, don't use the pole. Leave about 30 centimeters of this line to cut. Pick out this quill from the last stitch. Then thread this thread onto the needle, from the middle to the inside and out anywhere. When you put it in the same place you put it out. Put it out anywhere and put it back in the same place. Hide the thread inside. Cut off any excess thread, so the body part is hooked up. The next thing to hook his ears is to loop 6 short pins without drawing. Use a thread the color of his mouth. Go through the circle. Pull out the second short needle. There are 2 V's here. When the 6 are ready, take the loops off. Pull on this thread before. And then leave about 30 centimeters on this side. Cut the thread and pull it straight out. So that's an ear. Do the same with the other ear. Put his ears in place. Leave the long thread to thread onto the needle. Let's take a look at the little ears. It will form a natural arc. When we sew the dented side. It's just the seam facing forward. The dented side faces forward, and then the ears are positioned from the mouth here. between laps 9 and 10. And then from the top it's1、2、3、4. Lap for here. 1234, put the needle here. Take a look at it with the depression facing forward. And then this long line is underneath. And then we'll go in from here on the 4th lap. Go through it twice. It's right here at the back of the 2nd lap. Go between the 2nd and 3rd circles. Wear it back and forth inside your body. Increase its friction. Be careful when you wear it. Every time it comes out of the hole, just put it anywhere on the inside. The other end of the ear is also hidden in the body. Right under the ear. Same thing with the next ear. Next to his limbs, arms and feet. The arm is looped with 6 short needles. Its arms are 2 colors and the front is a darker coffee color. Behind that is the yellow of its body. I'll start with this color for the ears and the mouth, and I'll start with a darker color for the head. Circle 6 of them. Hook out the first short pin. Mark the first short needle. Because we're going to be crocheting up later, we're going to have to make a notation. Pull it tight when you're done. We'll take the mark off when we tighten it. We thread the thread to the needle that made the mark. Put it on and don't pull it out yet. Take out the color of its body. Press it on the small piece in the previous section. Alright, then start the short stitch on the one you just pulled. Hook a short pin. Mark the first short pin. The second. So the third one here is a needle order. After a short needle to finish 3. Pull the previous thread tight, especially the coffee-colored one, so there's no hole in the middle of the little coffee-colored paper at the beginning. Put these 2 threads aside. Next stitch. The 4th short pin. Hook up and stretch the top coil. We're gonna flip it over and the side with the wire head is the reverse side. Make his face outwards. I need to cut the first 3 threads off the inside. Then thread the coil through the crochet hook. Let's elongate it here, because we're going to start the first needle here. Then take the needle off. Crochet into it, because the circle is relatively small, so we're gonna make the top loop a little bit longer. Put it in and wind it. Pull out this coil first, then tighten the thread again. This is a drawing needle, so we're gonna have to bring the other coil. And then the second circle of yellow. We just plugged it in. Next, hook a standing pin. The third round is still 6 short pins. Mark the short needle. Because the circle is smaller. Wait a minute, hook it back. It's easy to lose the first shot, so make sure you make a check mark. 6. And the first needle draws. Tighten the lead wire, then bring it back. Do a standing stitch. So here's the fourth lap. Still 6 short needles. And then mark it. And then the 6th. No need to pull after the 4th loop. Lead the long line directly and break the line. It's about 40 centimeters. And then just pick the thread out. This is one of his arms. Just hook another one the same way. Next, hook his feet. The foot is looped up with ba, short pin without drawing. Pull the ba short needles tight, leaving the long thread broken. Just leave about 40 centimeters. Then pick out. Hook another one the same way. After you hook it up, sew it on. Start with his arm. Thread the long thread onto the needle. Look at the direction of your arms as you sew. There's a gap in the top circle. It's because there's no lead. We're gonna put this gap toward his body. The gap is facing back. Take a look at this long line. This is down here. We'll start at the bottom of the long thread. His arm was under his head. The sides of your body are fine. Come through and go up. Just wear it twice. The gap is inwards. And then put it over the top. You can pull it in from the outside of your arm. You can put it in and put it out anywhere. To the base of the arm. You can sew along the back stitch. Be careful not to pull the wire too tight. Just bring it right in. A few stitches and then thread it through the front. His arms are gonna stick up like this. And then we'll sew him on the third lap in the middle. Sewn to the body. And then you put the needle through here and out. Go through the third circle. Second ring. Put it on the third loop. And then put it back in place. So a little pull on his arm will fit him better. It's not gonna get up again. When you're done, thread it around your body any way you want. You wear it back and forth 2 or 3 times and then you cut it off. Put on your other arm. Find a more or less symmetrical position. There is also a natural curve when the feet are hooked. Here we were sewing. I want the curved side facing up. Sew it up like this. We can find a good spot under his body. There is no fixed circle to be sewn into. Just sew him wherever he sees fit. Line with edge. Put some stitches back and forth on this one. Just attach your feet to your body. After sewing, thread back and forth a few times. Cut off any excess thread. Then thread another thread through it. Just thread the other thread through it. The other foot is sewn on the same way. Then I'm going to use a dark coffee. Cut out about 80 centimeters. And then give him a split. It's pairwise. This is a 4-strand yarn. Split it into 2 strands. Let's pull this apart. Thread 2 strands of thread to the needle. Once it's on, the 2 ends are staggered and only the 2 strands on one side are sewn. You can tie a knot at the beginning. To the side of his nose. The knot has to be pulled inside. Thread through the top left corner of the first row of 4 stitches. And then you put it in the middle. Let's put it in this position. Let's put it on again over here. It still comes out of one position. And then you go under it. Cross 3 coffee-colored lines. And put it on. Make a slight adjustment. Go through the middle. Start with a symmetrical nose. Let's get to his eyes. Under the mouth line, only wear it once here. And his eyes are about this long. Pierce the eyes at the gap between the 4th and 5th turns. Then the eye is probably pierced with a needle. 2 more needles. And this is the 4th one to come out. Just put the 4th through the middle of the eye. Look at the symmetry when you come through. Probably wear 2. And then through the side of the eye. Wear it again. Make the lines for the eyes thicker. When you pull the thread after wearing it, be careful that the yarn tends to pull together. Pull slower. Get it sorted. Thread the thread around your body at will. Then cut off any excess ends. Give him a room to smooth out the cotton inside. That's how you hook up the whole capybara.